Last year's Trout Fest banquet brought in over $73,000, which allowed the Madison Gallatin Trout Unlimited chapter to support a variety of conservation and education work across southwest Montana. This year, MGTU hosted 7 monthly meetings from October through May. These meetings covered a variety of different topics, including fishing trips and tactics, presentations from local fish biologists, fly tying nights, and chapter updates. These meetings are free and open to the public, and they are a great way to connect with other folks in the community. The chapter has long supported the local Trout in the Classroom program. This year, MGTU tied the previous record by sponsoring 9 tanks. Each classroom receives a fully set up fish tank with fertilized trout eggs. As the eggs hatch and mature into juvenile trout, students get to learn about the life cycle of trout and the importance of healthy streams to our local fisheries. This year, these lessons received a boost from MGTU, who provided funding for Matt Wilhelm and Ripple Effect Aquatic Learning to provide additional educational resources and presentations. The chapter also approved a grant request to take 285 students to the Ennis Fish Hatchery to collect eggs for their classroom. Montana Trout Unlimited organizes an annual conservation camp on Georgetown Lake. Each year, MGTU sponsors campers who get to learn about trout fishing, freshwater ecology, and how to have fun in the outdoors. MGTU is a big supporter of local stream cleanups. During 2025, the MGTU-led Lower Madison cleanup had support from 25 volunteers who removed 2 truckloads of trash. MGTU also sponsored the Gallatin Watershed Council's cleanup, which removed thousands of pounds of garbage from sites along the Gallatin Valley. MGTU Service Partnership is an initiative to support our nation's active duty servicemen and women, reservists, veterans, first responders, and their families, and engage them in meaningful and sustainable ways. Last year, MGTU supported vets and first responders through 13 trips and outings. This included multiple fishing trips to Depew Spring Creek and our annual veterans trip to the Upper Madison with beartooth fly fishing. This was hosted by Michael Gearhart. MGTU also organized a Madison River trip with the Bozeman Police Department and Montana National Guard. MGTU also teamed up with Project Healing Waters fly fishing chapters from across the country who came to southwest Montana for 3 days of guided fishing. We also worked with PHW to coordinate a float trip at Holter Lake. A huge thanks to Paul White for organizing many of these events. Madison Gallatin TU chapter is a 100% volunteer program. However, some of the funding raised from the banquet helps support staff time and projects led by National TU employees. National TU staff working on projects in southwest Montana include Montana Water Program Director Pat Byarth, Staff Attorney Meg Casey, Associate Staff Attorney Walker Cunningham, and In-Stream Flow Specialist Ali Partis. These folks are experts on water rights and policy that help protect southwest Montana's trout fisheries, while project managers Connor Parrish and Ashley Brubaker identify, design, and implement restoration projects on the Madison, Gallatin, and Upper Yellowstone rivers. Our policy team is currently working on a number of issues in southwest Montana, including restoring stream flow to Mill Creek and Paradise Valley, setting up the Gallatin Water Trust, which will help keep more water in our streams, and they maintain leases on 17 water rights in southwest Montana, accounting for over 140 CFS of stream flow, which is kept in stream for trout. Mandeville Creek is a tributary to the East Gallatin that flows right through Bozeman. As it flows through the city, it receives all kinds of stormwater runoff and irrigation returns that contribute to its water quality issues. Besides poor water quality, Mandeville Creek is lacking fish and wildlife habitat. And perhaps most notably, Mandeville Creek is contributing polluted water to the East Gallatin River, which negatively impacts our beloved local fishery. During 2025, TU installed the final 7 habitat structures on 1.2 miles of Mandeville Creek, bringing the total to 96 structures. With in-stream work complete, we installed over 5,000 native plants within the 20-acre project area with support from over 160 volunteers. The project will improve habitat and water quality for both Mandeville Creek and the East Gallatin River. Since 2019, TU has restored and reconnected about 10 miles of Dry Creek, a large tributary to the East Gallatin River. During 2024, our 3rd phase of restoration reshaped 14 eroding stream banks. With the banks reshaped, we spent 2025 applying native grass seed and installing almost 1,000 native plants with the help of volunteers. With the 3rd phase of restoration complete, we have now removed an estimated 570 tons of annual fine sediment contributions to Dry Creek in the East Gallatin River. Camp Creek is a tributary to the Gallatin River, and it has the unfortunate reputation of being one of the most impaired streams in the state. During 2025, we installed 78 habitat structures in 1.6 miles of Camp Creek with support from Montana Conservation Corps crews and staff from Turner Enterprises. Over the next 2 years, TU will work to install 2 miles of fencing that will protect native plants. This project will help benefit the water quality and fisheries of the Gallatin River. In the Madison watershed, TU completed designs for a project on the South Fork Madison River. This project will improve floodplain and habitat connection through a large causeway that crosses the floodplain of the South Fork Madison. This causeway is over 300 yards in length with just one small culvert to convey floodwaters. The new design will install 7 culverts in the causeway and decommission some illegal roads and parking areas next to the stream. This project will improve the fishery of both the South Fork, Madison, and Hebgen Lake. This year, Trout Unlimited began implementing a restoration project in the Shields watershed to improve water quality and fish habitat on 0.75 miles of Brackett Creek. Brackett Creek is home to healthy populations of brown trout and Yellowstone cutthroat trout. Last fall, we resloped several eroding stream banks to reduce fine sediment inputs, and next year we will begin revegetating the stream banks. The completed project will benefit both the fishery of Brackett Creek and the Shields River. Over in Paradise Valley, we worked with staff from the B-Bar Ranch to install 5 BDAs on Tom Minor Creek. This is a major tributary to the Upper Yellowstone River, which is home to some Yellowstone cutthroat trout. The project will improve the fishery within the stream and also the Upper Yellowstone River. In 2023, TU began installing log jams in an integrated section of Mill Creek, the largest tributary to the Upper Yellowstone River. Last year, TU completed a 3rd year of project monitoring, and the results have been encouraging. Building on that success, we worked with a local consultant to design a second phase of Mill Creek restoration, which will begin this summer. Over in the Jefferson watershed, Montana TU is leading a large project on the Boulder River near Cardwell. The project will remove the Shaw diversion into smaller diversions and replace them with in-stream irrigation pumps that will benefit trout and agriculture. This will restore fish passage, add 7 CFS of cold water to the Boulder and Jefferson rivers, and restore stream and wetland habitat. MGTU has pledged $16,001 to this project, $1 more than the TU chapter in Missoula. Besides funding just Trout Unlimited projects, MGTU also supports a number of projects and events led by other local groups. The Salmon Fly Hatch is one of the most anticipated events in our fly fishing calendar. However, there's increasing evidence that salmon fly numbers in southwest Montana are in decline. This year, MGTU committed funding to the Madison River Foundation's partnership with MSU's long-term salmon fly study on the Madison River. The project will evaluate years of water temperature data on the Madison, assess the impact of tributary flow, temperature, sediment, and other variables on salmon fly populations. The result of this project will help scientists better understand the river and tributary conditions that impact invertebrate populations and diversity. This will hopefully result in management actions that help protect the Madison salmon fly hatch. Once again, MGTU was a proud sponsor of Grow Wild's 17th annual Gallatin River Weed Pull. This event was well attended by volunteers who pulled hundreds of pounds of noxious weeds from sites all along the Gallatin River. The past few years, MGTU has supported Gallatin Valley Earth Day. This organization not only puts on an Earth Day event at the fairgrounds, but they also host educational events throughout the year. One of the highlights this winter was a talk highlighting conservation efforts on Ted Turner's Flying D Ranch. The chapter is also a big supporter of youth fishing events. During 2025, MGTU sponsored the Lions Club Father's Day Fishing Derby and the 14th Sunrise Rotary Kids Fishing Day at Glen Lake. Finally, MGTU provided funding for improvements to the Varney Bridge fishing access site that will relocate 3 campsites, expand the boat ramp, and restore degraded stream banks. MGTU also contributed $25,000 to the Gallatin River Task Force for 6 access site improvements from the Yellowstone National Park boundary to Covered Wagon on the Gallatin River.